How do you keep Vermonters healthy? You can teach them to cook. Good nutrition starts in the kitchen, and today on Across the Fence, we're learning how UVM Extension helps low-income Vermonters gain valuable cooking skills, one healthy, delicious recipe at a time. Hello, Vermont. There are fewer issues closer to my heart than sharing the joy and importance of cooking. During my short time in the UVM Foods Lab, I had the honor of helping hundreds of undergrads learn their way around the kitchen. But I am guessing that's just a fraction of the number of new cooks of all ages turned out by my guest. Lori Pinard is a community nutrition educator with UVM Extension, running the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program, or EFNEP, in Chittenden and Franklin counties. Lori, hi.
Hi.
I am so excited to get a chance to talk with a fellow cook today.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yes, very glad to be here. I also know that you have a busy schedule. You're getting ready to hit the road and go to Barrie and take people on a grocery tour too. So thank you for taking time out of your day to come and talk to us about a program that I think is probably one of the most exceptional. I mean, there's a lot of exceptional things that Extension does, but I think that this program is really meaningful. Cook to cook, we know what it's like and how transformative it is when we help people gain cooking skills, confidence in the kitchen. It's a really important way of taking control of your health. So I'm glad to talk with you about that. But so first, let's talk about what EFNEP is. Do you want to explain the program?
Sure. Again, Amy, thanks for having me here. So EFNEP is actually a national program that has been around for over 50 years. Yeah. And it sits with every land-grant university across the continental United States, and also in some of the territories as well. And basically it's a nutrition and cooking program that helps young families, helps expectant moms learn basics of nutrition and healthy eating on a budget so that they can, families can have some good nutritional eating and healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, and all of those pieces are so important. We mentioned the grocery tour, because cooking, sometimes I think people forget that cooking, the food does not miraculously appear in your kitchen. You have to go out and shop for it. You have to know how to shop. Budgeting strategies for everybody is something that is really important. So the program makes certain that all of those skills are being taught.
Exactly, and that's one of our most popular sessions, Plan, Shop, Save, so that we learn how to plan meals and how to make grocery lists, go to the store and buy the ingredients, and then how to prepare those foods.
Yeah, because I think we take for granted that these are things that people are going to learn at home, but not everyone learns these skills at home. Some people don't have folks to teach them. My mom was funny. My mother was actually a home economics teacher, and she hated cooking. So she didn't actually teach me how to cook, and she didn't really teach me how to shop. I had to learn some of those things all for myself. So yeah, and sometimes we're getting it in a school environment, but not always. So, okay. So you mentioned who it serves a little bit. Tell us about who's eligible for the program.
So folks who are eligible are typically families of limited resources, young adults like ages 18 to 25 with limited resources, folks who are parenting, such as foster parents or grandparents. And then we teach school age, kindergarten through grade 12 too. So we're in schools as well.
We opened up with a shot of you in Winooski, right? That was at Winooski Middle School. So you're doing this program in schools as well too.
Exactly.
So you've got that captive audience.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess actually sometimes students are learning how to cook in school, but not in that formalized curriculum, the way that we used to have when, say, home economics was a part of teaching. Okay, so we're working to create healthier Vermonters, healthier Vermont families. Explain then, I keep kind of alluding to it, but what's the role of cooking, right? So how does cooking come into all this? Why is cooking important for laying a foundation for nutrition?
Well, like you alluded to, Amy, I think the best way to nurture our bodies, nurture our souls, is to cook at home. It's also one of the most economical ways that we can keep pennies in our pockets is to cook at home. And there's a plethora of options for people, you know, whether they want to cook from scratch or they're just going to put something in the oven or in the toaster oven to get food ready and on the table. but I love to be able to provide people with some of the basic skills and knowledge so that they can go forth and have these lifelong skills so that they can prepare some food.
And everybody is always dealing with constraints. We know that some of the things that make it hard for people, I mean, just don't have time. This is the thing that everyone hears. This is why so many of our cooking habits at home have changed, is because we're all time stressed.
Right.
So I think that you had said one of the things that is really important to this program is also acknowledging where people are at and teaching, you like to teach a breadth of skills, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us about what your approach is like.
So along with the cooking and leading up to that, I mean, for example, we look at food security, food safety, making sure people have information about being active in their lives. And for example, in a class, we'll spend a lot of time focusing maybe on like nutrition facts. So the nutrition facts label and the ingredients list, so that people are informed, so that they learn and they're informed, so when they go to the grocery store, they can make the choices that they want to make for their families. So classes, they're so much fun. We do a lot of hands-on activities focused around.
All in person, or can people also do online classes?
We can do online as well, and we do a hybrid as well. So a couple online sessions and then a couple in-person sessions so that we can all cook together. And that's actually the most fun part, is when we can cook together in a group as a community, that community feeling of cooking together in a group and creating a dish or two and then getting to eat it.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little more about what students learn in a class. Like, do you cook from recipes? What's the approach? And I think we're going to put up something that actually has a link. There we go. Yeah, we have a link to, this is a grain bowl that I think you guys made in class, and a link to recipes, because there's a lot of information online, lots of recipes that folks can follow too, right?
Sure. And the great thing about the EFNEP recipes is that they all follow My Plate. They're all anchored around My Plate, so it makes it for easy access to actual nutrients and what needs to go into a plate, go into a dish.
How to make a balanced meal.
Yeah, how to make a very balanced meal. So folks might learn, a session might be on whole grains and the importance of whole grains and why they're so important in our diet, how to find those when we go to the store, how to read the label and know it's 100% a whole grain, and then how to cook that. And all of our recipes are also very cost effective and very quick and easy, 30 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, so acknowledging where people are at. And I think that is so important, because we were talking about like being at the farmer's market, or or places where we have access to lots of great fruits and vegetables, but something that can be an inhibitor for people eating them is not knowing how to cook and prepare them. So you're taking them from product through to finished product.
Yeah, and teaching methods. So, if you can roast a potato and roast a carrot, you can roast anything that you want, you know. And when you go to the farmer's market and you're like, what is a kohlrabi? I don't know what to do with it, but I know how to roast. I'm going to try roasting it. And see what happens.
I can identify the basic category to which this belongs, and then you know what to do with it. I think that's a great approach, because then you're not bound by the recipe. And I don't have a recipe for kohlrabi. You just know a little bit about the different types of ways you can prepare it. So, and then sometimes you even do like at-home instruction, right, after the fact?
Yes, one of the other courses that we offer are home visits.
I think that's incredible.
So that we can go into someone's home if they're comfortable having us, or we can meet at a neutral location. And we go through our curricula, but we can also focus more on what their family really need and really want too.
So if you, this is a good moment for me to say, if you at home have a cooking and nutrition background and this kind of work sounds like something you'd enjoy, good news, the Rutland and St. Johnsbury Extension offices are currently recruiting for community nutrition educators. Some info is up on the screen. Lori, teaching, I saw firsthand how transformative this kind of work was. How has it been for you cooking in the community? What's it like teaching people to cook?
Besides being a lot of fun, it's very rewarding. And an example I share is actually a home visit participant that I had. We worked a lot on diet restrictions and needs of the family, because there were some real concerns in the family, and utilizing my plate and how to plan and shop using that and some of our recipes. And she saved $100 the next time that she went shopping. And that is like bingo. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
Well, because that's, again, you have just made a really impactful difference in a family's budget at the same time as improving the entire family's health, because food is medicine, right? This is the way that we prevent illness, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. So also, for eligible folks who want to sign up for classes, I think we're going to put up a link here. Yeah, we have a link to some resources and things, because tell us about how people can sign up to take a class.
So they can sign up via these links. They can contact the EFNEP office directly. They can call or email myself. We also work very closely with community partners. So if they're in a community setting, say they're already at a parent-child center, then they can chat with the folks at the parent-child center and reach out, and we can set up and organize a class. One thing I did want to mention, Amy, that has slipped away,
Let's
is
do it.
one of the great things about EFNEP is that it teaches in a series. So it's not just a one time and done. We teach anywhere from 4, 5, 6 sessions so that we can really work with folks and really look for some behavior changes to see if that's something that they're, that they're looking for to make some changes in their family's health.
So when you sign up for a class, you're making a commitment.
Yes.
So you want to commit the time, because then, but like I said, because that is then not just how you get the information and the one-time cooking class, fantastic, great.
Yes.
But doing it over and over, so you build comfort, confidence, and also then start connecting the dots between I cook, the nutrition, my plate, how to build a balanced meal, all that's so important.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
that's
start
really
learning
fantastic.
some of the whys, why it's important to have green vegetables, why it's important to have orange vegetables, why whole grains and lean protein are really important in our diets. You start learning the whys so that you can build upon that.
I think that is really, really great.
Yeah.
And so you said you're taking off to Barrie this afternoon. You're
I
going to
am.
go and do a quick tour of the grocery store. We only have a
store
second,
tour.
but what's the biggest takeaway that comes from a grocery store experience like that?
Look high, look low, look at unit pricing, look around, and read some labels.
Fantastic. Final tip. Okay, well, Lori Pinard, thank you so much for joining me. I've always wanted to have a community nutrition educator on the show.
Yay.
Mission accomplished. As always, Vermont, thank you for learning and exploring with me today, and thanks to the team that makes Across the Fence possible. I'm Amy Finley. This is Across the Fence. Come back and let's learn and explore again tomorrow.